Kobielski from Poland clear there. It's not even bothering, as we were commenting earlier, to take his bottoms off. Chris Baker. Well clear as well, Baker. I think these cooling conditions are not terribly helpful to the high jumpers. They do enjoy the warmer conditions. Didn't really have to work too hard to get over that bar.
I did mention to you earlier, he likes painting his spikes in various different colours. Don't know whether these are the ones, but he's got an Avengers pair, and that might be it. Going back to that 5,000 metres race, you did mention Petros, the German, and he's got an interesting story. He came to Germany as a refugee. He was encouraged, or in the camp when he arrived, he started taking up running just to kind of keep him distracted a bit. And then once he found a foster family, they actually encouraged him to join a club. And that's how he really got into running. Came originally from Ethiopia, had long distances to run to school, as many East Africans. But yes, as I said, recently just took up running when he actually arrived in Germany, aged 16. The Belarusians leading this race still as he went out. Followed by the Brit. And Nick Golub, he won the Westminster Road Mile at the end of May, I believe. So he's there in second. The German interdistances, they do want the points for the team. It's not necessarily about getting a fast time in. It's about who finishes in those top spots for the top points. And the Poles, of course, and the Brits, actually, still very much at the top of the team standing. So in the positions they're finding themselves now, it's looking very promising for them the Brits actually to extend their lead.
Well, it's distinctly possible with the advantage that Britain has at the moment that they could end up the first day quite surprisingly in the lead. We'd expect Baker to pick up a few points and the relay teams to pick up points as well. Although British relay teams' history at major championships isn't always a particularly starred one. They've actually dropped the baton on many, many occasions.
And I think that's something that is rightly pointed out. We've got to remember that you can't rely on anything in that relay. We've got 3 laps to go in that men's 5,000 metre race.
And still essentially 8 men in contention. Ukrainian and the Greek just dropping off the back there for the big pack of 8 men at the front.
Someone running with their shoe open. Let's hope there aren't any other extra stepping on anyone's feet. We don't want any more injuries.
Well, Kulka seems to have cranked up the pace a little bit. Kulka was a great athlete as a junior, including winning European Junior Cross-Country Championships. Hasn't quite progressed as many people expected in the senior ranks. Well, it looks as though Abadia, very popular figure amongst the Spanish team. He's acted as a mentor to many of the young steeplechasers coming.
Jumped that 1382 you mentioned there earlier, just earlier in the year in California at a meet.
Well, of course, under certain circumstances, Christian Taylor has also swapped events. I mean, he was doubling up in the long jump as well a couple of seasons ago.
Chin up, he says. There we go.
Chin up. I'm not sure whether that's metaphorically or literally.
Both. And as you can see there on the infield, it says javelin throw men. In just a couple of minutes, that will start. And that is certainly an event to watch.
I know you're excited about the men's javelin. Tell us why, Michelle.
I'm so excited about it. Being a patriotic German that I am, we've got our reigning Olympic champion with Thomas Röhle in there. And speaking of Germans...
Yes, we've got a German behind the mic and we've got a German on the screen. Eike Onen. Well, you saw him get nicely over 2 meters 22 just a moment ago. So this is his first attempt at 2 meters 26. Onen only one failure so far in this competition, so has a little bit of a margin for error. That's his second, though. Onin's, I don't know, what do you think, Michelle? Onin, he never really shows very much emotion at all. I mean, I know this is, shall we say, a rather tired old stereotype, but he genuinely always just seems sort of mildly disinterested.
Cool as a cucumber, as the Brits say.
Mikael Hanani. First attempt at 2.26 for the Frenchman. No. Just a bit untidy over the bar. So that's his second failure in this competition, with the special rules for the vertical jumps of only 4 failures.
It's interesting how the older athletes are doing well here. He's 34 years of age. We've got Onen.
So second round now for the women's triple jump.
That might have already secured a solid standing.
It's their full strength team out. We're looking at Daphne Schippers, who's going to run the long second leg. So that's the 1, 2, 3 in that race. But what a terrible changeover between Schippers and Van Schagen, that second changeover. I'll even look to see whether there was a red flag. I was not watching the officials. Well, that's Elzevita Brezina, not Alicia Pove. It was Pove on the first leg. That's Audrey Allo, who got second place there. So we see a recap of the race.
Let's look at that second exchange once it's coming up, because here everything's still looking very much in order. Dutch looking good on the outside lane with Schippers. But it looks... Did Schippers change her hands? What did she do there?
I'm not sure. I was also watching the Ukraine second changeover, and that was far from slick either. That probably cost them the championship record. Well, perhaps not, but certainly cost them a couple of tenths. So the changeover between Stoy and Chakour was pretty ropey as well.
I mean, this is one of the reasons why it's good for the relays to send a full strength team here, because, as we mentioned, anything can happen in the relays. The more practice they get, the better, but they don't get these national relay opportunities that often. So to work things out at this kind of level is still better than for it to happen in a World Championships. But still, the European champions there, the Netherlands, very disappointing.
And Italy, well, let's give credit where it's due. Italy were a little bit unheralded. That's the final changeover between Bongiorni and Allo. And the Italians, well, not points for Proctor on the board. Now let's see if she can increase them. Could give a little bit of ground to the Italians and Netherlands, and Zmelik flew down the home straight, just edging in front. Well, as Michelle rightly said, it will be a very close in terms of times, but look at the ground that Zmelik did make up. Even though there's a slight foreshortening effect, he made up a metre and a half and managed just to edge in front of the Dutch and the Italians.
The Dutch had a very awkward last exchange as well. There was some fumbling going on. And look at this. Actually, Dutch and the Ukraine been given the same result, but the Ukraine just got the heads up there. So 39.07 for the Ukraine and the Netherlands, and Italy just behind by 100th of a second with 39.08. Greece and Belarus behind.
Important points for Ukraine. Well, we didn't think that they were going to be troubled in the relegation battle. That was probably going to involve other teams such as Czech Republic, Greece, and maybe Spain, but that'll certainly help them stay in the middle.
And there we have Thomas Roller with his second round attempt. He's been moved into second, but normally he's quite good at answering when somebody else produces a far distance. So let's see what he can produce here. Just shy of that 85 metre mark, and you can see it from his face. He's not very happy with it. Doesn't like not leading. Says it's okay. looking at his coach. Guessing it's in the 84s, which means the Greek athlete, Ioannis Kyriazis, still leading with that 85.27 he produced in the first round. Let's just wait for confirmation for this throw. 84.01, so just over there. It's almost 10 meters shy of his best in Doha, but moves him in, or leaves him in second. Spaniard. Bang on the 70-meter mark there. Let's see what it actually is measured as. Has thrown a personal best of 77.66, and he's only 19 years of age, so he will certainly again be one to watch, potentially in Grosseto for the European Under-20 Championships. Looking there for the result. 69.85. So huge improvement.
Out of second place, so she's not second at the moment. So Asani Zouf jumped 14 meters exactly to take over second place. So still her best 13.73. She's actually down in third at the moment.
Look at the winds again, though. You can see they're really turning.
Kristin Gierisch down in fifth place at the moment. Needs a good jump in this third round to get into the top four and get a final jump. And that is what she was looking for. That's a much better jump from Gierisch. And the way that she responded, I think there was a big sigh of relief there.
And it's funny you mention this, because it's a very typical expression for her, because often she shows that. And I remember it was similar in the European indoors, actually, I think in the last round.
As you can see here, looking at the replay, she drifts over very much to the right-hand side of the run-up and runway during takeoff, and then the course, then her phases. 27.5 centimetres, though. Just think what that could have been if she could have hit the board square. Well, 14.13. If she'd have hit the board square, that could have challenged Paparizou's lead of 14.24.
Brit Matty Mortimer. Let's see. Has a personal best of 77 meters, but that looked well shy of that mark. .70.82 for the Brit. It's an improvement on his first round attempt. Dutch Thomas, he goes 71.28 for him, currently in sixth. Next up.
Yes, just squeezing into the final round in fourth place. It's Lucy Majkova from Czech Republic, 73. So Kristin Gierisch. We've hopped Janine Asani Izouf. I can tell you that she did actually foul. This is a recording from just a few minutes ago, but the French woman did foul and so didn't improve on her third place. So we saw Gierisch get 14.13 in depth as the Germans, but do have some very good runners on there.
Interestingly, in the German relay, Alexandra Burkhardt, I remember after the World Relay saying the fact that they've got so many strong German runners coming